I think he's done a disservice to his country, honestly.
Why?
I think, well, there are ways, it seems to me, to ask for more oversight. But he was in a very sensitive position. He's disclosed information that should not have been disclosed, perhaps not just to us, but to our adversaries or potential adversaries.
But did he do a service to Americans
to
realize that there's so much information that the government can access legally?
No, I see this in two parts. One, I think he's done a disservice to our country. But second, I think it's very important that the American people push their government so that we fully understand what government is doing. Congress has a responsibility, a serious responsibility, to provide the right kind of oversight. If there are things going on that we don't know about, there's a responsibility by the intelligence committees and others in Congress, and it's not clear to me that they have always known exactly what is happening. But I don't view Mr. Snowden as a hero, and I think, you know, he may find asylum somewhere, but I don't think he did the right thing for our country.
Okay, let me talk to you about the president and how he's handled the situation. Do you approve of it? Do you disapprove?
I think so. I mean, there's so much going on, and there's
You think so what? You disapprove or approve of how the president has done it?
Listen, this president's trying to do a difficult job under difficult circumstances, and I like him. I served with him in the Congress, know him. He's a friend. It's easy to be critical. It's much more difficult to provide the right kind of leadership. I think he's trying very hard.
Does it reveal to us that this is new territory? I mean, you write about cybersecurity in your book, and it deals with getting into the electrical power grid system and cyber terrorism, and it brings down our power system here in the U.S. It's new territory for us.
Everything is new. Listen, it's a brand new world. It's a digital world. Former Secretary of Defense Leon Panetta said the next Pearl Harbor may be cyber terrorism. I mean, it's the case the last two wars that we've been involved in, Iraq and Afghanistan, the enemy didn't wear uniforms. That was very different. In the next war, it may be that there aren't things that explode. There are instead digital attacks that would shut down the entire electric grid system in the United States, or the distribution system for water, or our transportation systems. And that could happen. You know, the National Science Foundation has done this study, just released, and say that, you know, the grid system is vulnerable and could be shut down days, weeks, or months. If that happened, it would be devastating to this country and its economy and the American people.
So we're at risk here.
We're at risk, and I mean, I obviously have written a novel. David Hagberg and I have written a piece of fiction.
But it's based on stuff you took from the headlines.
Well, it's based on very serious issues, and in fact, Homeland Security just 2 months ago warned our electric power producers that Middle Eastern hackers were trying to get access to that system. So we have to be very careful to protect our country in this circumstance.
Can we keep up, though? Technology is a tough world. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. Can we keep up, you think? Can we provide the right security, especially when everybody's trying to get into other people's systems?
Well, we don't have any choice. It's a new world. It's a digital world, and we've got to protect our country. Did you report on the circumstance with Aramco Oil when 35,000 of their computers, you know, the data was annihilated and a burning American flag was left on all the screens as the image? Our country and every other country sent their experts to try to figure out what on earth happened and how did terrorists do that. That was the cutting sword of justice, they called themselves. But this is very real, these attacks against other countries, against corporations, and against our country and the specific infrastructure systems we need for the kind of life we need.
Before you leave, you've written several books. You've served in Congress for a long time. What's more difficult?
Well, some say, well, you know, the first two books are about economic issues. These two about fiction. Some say, well, you haven't really changed occupations. You went from politics to fiction. Same thing.